Hello, good afternoon. All right, this is take two from earlier today where the camera froze up and I guess it stayed frozen up the whole time, right? So I'm just recording this round. I'm just going to post it out there because it makes life easier for you and for me. So this is take two and you'll get to see what I made earlier with the camera thinking it's going and everything is okay and it wasn't. So there you go. So it's been a day, right? I usually like to plan my own adventures, right? But today's been an adventure that I didn't want or plan, but it's just how we handle it. So the way I handled it was I went to lunch, accidentally spilled something on my shirt, got to see two of my Stampin friends, and got to have lunch with the love of my life, come back home, cut some more paper so we could do this live. All right, so there you go. And I was fortunate because my love of my life had a duplicate shirt of the one I had on this morning. So all I do is swap shirts. So there you go. Whoop, whoop. And plus it was good to eat lunch after that. So there you go. So let's go down the hands and let's do this. Let me show you what we did and we'll get the combo going there. Combo was working. Actually, there's static or something. So I'm hoping this improved the whole thing. I had to reboot everything, and in addition to that, I had to trick the camera into working. A trick my daughter told me to do, and so we'll see. We might just get a new camera. But anyway, this is what we did last week, right? And this is how I solved the opportunity for creativity. All we did is put a circle on back, put some Velcro here, and that was my opportunity for creativity. That's how I solved it. And I can put a little something back here as well too, but I wanted to show you that in this here. And this is what I made earlier today. So we're gonna make it, there'll be a little bit different variations because I can, right? I'm not a machine that always go out and mass produce something. So I took this opportunity to even change out some colors. So there you go. So what we were doing is we're working on casing from the catalog. So we're looking at this picture here. Yes, I see things now, yay. And then these over here, they did a bunch of different ones over here. So we're going along those lines just to give you an idea of where we're going. You can see from the bear to the dog, very similar yet different, right? But we used it as an inspiration. And so we're gonna make some, the other ones here we're gonna use the inspiration again. So actually what's happening now is I'm getting fewer and fewer stuff I have left. And this is what we're fixing to find out what I have to work with. But it also gave me the opportunity, right, to do something a little bit different than I did earlier. So you're going to see what that is as well too. Because when I made the card earlier, I did not do the inside. So I decided to do the inside this time. If I forgot to do a redo, let's do a redo. And I was going to show you what I did earlier too. I showed another picture of busy paper and how we toned it down, right? So it didn't seem so busy. So that was one way there as well. And I showed another design right here. Again, here's the same busy paper. We got it mostly covered up with cardstock right there that I had embossed and did something with it there. So it's just different ways you can do it. So let's start with what I did earlier. So what I did earlier is I cut down a piece of white cardstock down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches, okay? And let me take this out of the inside because I did the same thing for the inside that we're not going to do just yet. I'm going to put it aside. But what this does, it provides an opportunity, right, to do this or that and see what you like the best. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I have glue right handy here. I'm looking to see what I had handy because I sort of buried my other, as I was putting stuff together. I got classes going on this week, right? So I have to have those in the background. I had to make sure right before I went live, even earlier today, to make sure I didn't have any more mystery boxes or anything that I was supposed to be keeping hidden, right? So this is all I had done earlier. You know, and I think it would be just as nice as if you tilted it sort of sideways. That'd be cute too. We're not doing that now, but I think it still would be cute. And then we're just gonna put, I only did is I came and put like a thin line of glue. You could do tearing tape. I didn't do tearing tape, but I just put a thin line of glue, right about like that. You do need to stick in the middle though, right? So yeah, so right now I'm just doing everything recorded with the two cameras. It's like, okay, so I can't blame social media or anything. I'm just doing if you can't say anything, it's just the camera, right? All right, and we're gonna do the other side. So what I talked about earlier is you can trim these any way you want to, right? So actually, when I did the other one earlier, actually it was a little bit longer, but that's okay. Our snips will go right in between real easy. All right, so I never let that worry me because I know that they're really super sharp. I accidentally nipped myself once before, accidentally, and I got to find out how sharp those pointy edges of our scissors are. So never take them lightly because they are pointy. Right there. Doesn't look like you could hurt yourself, but you can. So you just need to be careful. All right, so we're just gonna get this down here. So I just used this here just like them. It looks like that's how they did it. So this is how I did it. Right. So they give you. So like with every catalog, we get what we call recipes, right? That basically tells you what they use to make whatever the example is. Okay, it doesn't tell you the measurements. It basically lists, here's the color of cardstock, here's DSP, bling, that we used, and that's it. So you have to sort of guess the sizes. Now in this particular case, it was easy to guess that it was a regular standard size card because it didn't look like a slim line like the one we did last week. I was trying to think what else was pretty much it. The rest of it was just sort of guessing, right? All right, I'm going to put that right there, okay? All right, so it's going to be right here, and we'll let that do, and we'll draw it dry. All right, so let's take some of this stuff out from over here that we had left over from earlier, because we're going to be using our leftover pieces. And I think I might really have exhausted, not quite, but almost exhausted all the stuff in their pre-cut die packs from one package of paper. Now, one thing we did earlier is, you know what? I bet I didn't do this one. All right, just a moment. Let me find it, and we'll see what we got going here. One thing I do like about not being live and can do this way, I can stop and start if I can find something. So anyway, yes, we're going to do this here. So we have choices this time. I'm just using up the rest of the stuff I have here. The last one I did the bear with a piece of mail in its mouth, so I had the choice of the dog, which at least looks like it's smiling, right? And the bear, I don't know, sort of looks sad to me. All right, we can put that one aside. We can use the dog because the dog was really happy. All right, so I'm actually going to put this one up on dimensionals. Now, this is going to be a little bit different, right, than what we did on the first one because of that. It's okay, right? It's all about opportunity. So I had the opportunity that I wasn't planning on. My opportunity was working on cutting paper today for the retreat. So instead, I am doing a redo from earlier. Oh yeah. Alright, so it's okay. We did get a sprinkle of rain. We're supposed to get some more. Or we're supposed to get some rain. We had like 40% chance. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, because at lunch we were checking to see what it looked like. It looked like it was pretty scattered. Alright, so we're going to take, so this particular dog, right, takes up like practically this whole piece that I used on the other one with the bear. So I'm just going to put it a little bit to the right. I'm actually going to put it even up a little bit because I actually had the tag earlier coming over. So it's going to be just like that. And this actually has a little punch out piece right here. Okay. So I'm going to get to punch out with my fingernail. If not, I'm going to use my tool. Alright, there we go. And then this one also, we had put a North Pole right here on the side. So I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it with many dimensionals. On the lower half anyway, because it's going to like go over. And you're going to see in a minute when we start building the background. So actually in this case, we're going to actually create a cluttered background, or a very busy, let's put it very busy, not cluttered. Just sort of like the DSP paper, right? With the DSP paper, we're reversing the opposite, right? We're taking it where it's not so busy and we're going to sit there and tone it down. This one is just the opposite. It's very white, right? A lot of white there. And we're going to work on building up color around it. So we have this here, and then this is going to go like this. So yes, I swapped out colors from green to red. Now what I talked about earlier is when you do something like this, just go ahead. I even see a glue stick. Yeah, let's use a glue stick. Those usually don't get too sticky anymore nowadays. I'm trying to see what else I have. Normally I would just use my Stampin' Seal. But anyway, just put it like right here and get it to stick in place so you can see what it looks like and if it's what you want, right? I normally just use some Stampin' Seal, and I put just a little dab on it so it just help me align things up so I can get a look at, this glue stick isn't going to work like the Stampin' Seal. I've got mine buried from earlier under there. Okay, so anyway, it gives me at least an idea, right? So here's what I did earlier. And so we're building here is similar, but it's different, right? Okay, so what I did and what I do a little bit different this round is I'm just going to go ahead and start laying these out. So this is the envelopes I still had just left, barely, right? Just barely. I'm thinking, wow, it's a good thing I had some of these left. Otherwise, I'd be doing this all over, literally from scratch, and having to go poke some other things out. And this one, I'm going to, I got some extra little doodad stuff I can put in here. And it's all right. So we're going to visualize this being right about in here. Okay, with this tag being down here that we still have to stamp. And it's going to go up above that because I had it above this here, and I really want it above that there. Okay, so we'll put it in there, and we'll talk a little bit about this. And then we're just going to stick some little items in here, okay? So I use these little stamps, and I actually use this too because I thought this was too darn cute, right? So it's like we got our busy paper here, this green, and it's our border, right? So we're just sticking stuff in between. So I'm going to stick this right in here. I've never seen a mail center, post office, or even a house like this, but maybe. It's not at my house, right? I've never seen one like that at my house. So it looks like they just put like a bunch of stuff back here. So if you want to look at it again and see what they did, let's see, right here. So see, there is no paper that looks like this. This is just them adding stuff in there. So that's what we're doing. We're just adding stuff in here. We can put that up on a dimensional. We have this one here that we could put up if we wanted to. Let's see what I'm missing that I might want to still include. That was a teeny tiny little present. I have this in green that I could put up here too, just to add some color, right? So there's no right or wrong. We're just adding stuff to the background, knowing we're going to put this on top. Okay, now I'm definitely not going to put anything under the dog or anything because we know we're going to cover that up. So I'm going to just do it at least like this right here. So when we have all this here, it's like, okay, how are we going to get it down here? Let's see what I got showing up here. Okay, good. Yeah, you got it. All right, just seeing what I've got showing up there for you. Okay, and I kept a little bit, we had some of these little characters earlier, a chipmunk, a rabbit. We'll see if we can't use them too. Oh, I like this one. We could still rotate out and use, oh, here was one I thought was really cute, the squirrel holding the piece of mail. All right, so we'll see what we're going to do. But right now we're going to start off with this, all right? So I'm going to go ahead, use my glue here. I'm going to start gluing some of this down. So it's all about layers, right? What they've done is they've just bulked up and put layers of stuff. Right, so it just wasn't so plain. And making it look like the busy paper, which I think is sort of pretty cool, right? It's just the opposite of what we're doing with the busy paper, right? We're trying to tone it down, and they're up here like putting it out there with the stuff like this, which there's enough of this that we can do it, right? There's plenty. I mean, this is like the end of my first packet of pre-dye stuff, and it's like you can see I still have a little bit left over. So there's plenty, plenty, plenty. You don't have to worry about running out real quick or anything else. You have plenty of opportunity, and it already makes me think of doing cards for kids in the hospital, right? That you could sit there and make a bunch of different cards, and it would be different. Similar but different. Similar but different. Yep, I'm just going to put it in here, right? You can do it sideways a little bit if you want to. I can put this one over here. So yes, I didn't really focus. I mean, we do have some cards we've done for kids for in the hospital for Halloween. I didn't put it out there like I did in the last couple of years, but I could have, but I didn't. I thought, you know what happened the last 2 years is that, so we got the cards for the kids in the hospital for Halloween, but then we didn't have any for Christmas, right? So like school back in, and I got people to come and do the stuff for Halloween, but then when it's time come back and get together and do Christmas, it just didn't happen. So I thought, okay, well this year we're going to do it just a little bit different. Just put this package here, and we're just going to put this up on dimensionals. And if we want to add anything else, we can. So that's what I thought, right? So we're going to do that. I imagine we're going to do it here soon, right? Because what I have to do is, if you're interested in helping out, I usually try to get you a copy of the guidelines, right? They have guidelines, and we don't want you to think they didn't have guidelines, that they do. Right, because you got to keep in mind when you're doing kids in the cards with kids in the hospital, a lot of these kids are terminal illnesses, right? So we just have to be sensitive to the fact that what we put on our sentiments. If we want to put anything on there, we just have to be sensitive to that. So and I appreciate that, because I had a son that was definitely in the hospital for a little while, and it was, as a parent, when they're in there like over 30 days, it's like, it just puts a strain on your life and everything going on, but you deal with it, right? You're not sure what's going to happen. Okay, so see how we're just going to do this like right here. I was trying to think of my last one. I actually crossed this over a little bit. Okay, so I crossed this over like just at least on the bottom with a little bit on the white at the end here. And the reason is, if I have a little bit of white, right, you can do this. Now, I would tell you, looking at the dog they did, and I did this on one of the other ones, they made it look the dog was walking on the tag, right? So we can do that. Now, to do that, we're going to have to make sure we lift it up, but let's go ahead and get this stamped. And if we think we need to add anything else, we can. I got plenty here. I still like this one that we didn't use yet. See if we can find some. All right, let's get this stamped. Now, I'm going to do it in two-tone color just like I did before. So I actually did this in Garden Green and then Poppy Parade. So those are the colors that you're really seeing pop out on here. And I actually did Special Delivery with green. I'm going to do that again because I like that. So that was the nice thing I was explaining on the first round, is that the stamps are such that you can sit up there and combine them, and they all make really good sense, right? Like this one says Special Delivery, and I'm going to stamp from the North Pole underneath. They got like from me to you, from here to there, and they all work really well, right? Okay, and I'm going to flip this over, and I put my stamp on the other side. Yes. Okay. And then we'll clean our block in just a minute. And if we don't think we liked it and it wasn't straight enough, which I'm not sure if it is or not. Okay, so it's not. So then let's just do a do-over on the back side. So we'll get the green out again. Yeah. So that's the only thing, right? You just have to, I usually do pretty good. Today's been an off day for a number of things, right? So it's like, we're just going to let it go. I'm not going to like lose sleep over or anything, right? Just every day can't be a perfect day. I don't know why not, but it does seem like that. And it's okay. We're just going to deal with it and move on. Okay, there we go. Let me get this out of here. Yes, I have gotten ink on my shirts before. I was able to wash it out, but you got to keep in mind, right? Make sure you got the turn. If you've got red undertones, they don't always wash out. Sometimes those want to dye. When I say dye, I mean like D-Y-E, like as in dye your clothes. I'm trying to think. I know I've gotten ink on my shirts before and washed them out, but it wasn't red or something that had a red undertone, right? So if it'll stain the stamps, I am confident it would more than likely stain your shirt too. And I'm not interested in finding and test it out for you. There. Like you, love you guys, but I'll pass on that one. So there. Alright, let me set this aside. There's limitations. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere this to right here. And then I actually put that one originally on dimensionals. To make sure I didn't do this, both of them on dimensionals. Right, so I have to look at my own. Yeah, I just lightly tacked that down. And we're going to cover this here. So nobody knows that you made a mistake or anything else, except for the person that watches your live or your pre-recorded. In this particular case, it's recorded. Not pre-recorded, it's like we're doing take 2. I'm going to scooch it in. Alright, there we go. All right, and then we'll put this up on dimensionals. So, because I did regular dimensionals here, we're gonna do regular dimensionals as well on this. And what we're gonna do is make sure. So, typically you do this is make sure it's just on the bottom side that you put the dimensionals, because the top part's gonna slide over right on top, which you could glue it down if we wanted to, or we don't have to. Main thing is just going to be slightly over the top. I should make sure I got this here because I'm going to put bling down here when we get to the end. Alright, so see, I'm just going to do this like right here. Now the only thing is, I thought I had this down already and I don't, so we're going to anchor this down. Yes, these little pieces you take off the back, they get everywhere. Even the dog, we've seen the dog with one on it. I think I showed you guys one with we were traveling and I got out of the vehicle, had to put gasoline in the car and get some snacks, and one of them was actually on the ground. Okay, so see here, I'm just going to put it like right there. So it looks like that they did, right? Just so it looked like the dog was walking on it. There's special delivery. Alright, so it looks a little different than the other one, right? So we're just going to take this here. I'm going to snip off a little bit. Some, but not much, right? And you could tear it off, right? And it would give you that torn paper look. That would be sort of cute and different. So yeah, so even when I do like cards for kids in the hospital, we go and you know what I usually do is I usually make 4 or 5 easy designs, because you get people of all levels of making cards, right? And so I'll make them at different levels, and then I'll put it out there with all the stuff to make it. And if they want to create their own, they can. If they want to do exactly what we put out there, they can do that too, right? They have choices. All right, so yeah, so trim this one off just a smidgen, so you can see the difference for me doing it like this versus here. Definitely a different look. Definitely, I'm gonna get in here and trim this just a little bit more. It's not meant to be perfect, right? We aren't machines, so keep that in mind. We are not machines. We're creating like one card at a time. I guess we're going to leave that one there. All right, and so what we're going to do is I'm going to do the same thing on the inside, all right? So that's what I was going to show you is why not, right? And let's put some puppy feet in here too. I'll have to snatch one of my ink spots from my paper pumpkins, which I always have handy. So, right, so I have different areas I create in. So here I do my lives, and I do creating sometimes, and definitely for my lives, and sometimes I will do it up here as well too, and all. But for most part, I do it in my other area downstairs in the kitchen, right? Because I take over the whole kitchen. All right, so we're just going to do the same thing here. We're just going to lightly put this here. So that's where most of my stuff is created down there, because I just spread out everywhere. Here I'm setting up for that, but I'm just not there yet, all right? So I'm just trying to make some different changes, see if it makes it easier for me, right, to create, organize, stuff like that. All right, so we're going to go ahead. This one's a little bit longer, yeah. Okay. So these are all just 1/4 inch. I'm just sort of going to frame it. I just think it's sort of a neat way to frame it out with a busy paper, right? Just to show you some different ways what you can do with it. So we do have on Sunday, we have our kit together, and that's when we give away our door prizes. So we'll be doing that on Sunday, and then we got the retreat we're working on. So that's what we'll be doing later today. We'll be working on cutting some stuff. Some stuff's already been done by a good friend and a helper. Whoop, whoop. But there's still more to go. You know, when you have 18 cards you're doing, it just takes a little bit of time. That's all. But the main thing is, right, you just start doing, so I'm redoing my schedule, right? So I can do certain days that I focus on, let's say, cutting, and then other days, if I have time, I do it. Otherwise, but you have a designated day. So I'm working on that, right? Having a designated day where I just do all my cutting as much as I can. Okay, and there we go. All right. So what I like about this, I do like putting a little puppy dog feet in here, or bear feet, whatever you want to call it, but they're right there. So I don't know. I haven't taken my dog to look at their feet in comparison to this. Okay, but I have done this on something, on one of the other projects I worked on for this, and this is really fun. So we're just going to take one of these ink spots. I'm just going to pick out a brown. I could do black. I think I have a black in here too, but let's do brown. Let's do early espresso. There we go. Alright, I'm just going to stamp some little feet print on here, which is sort of fun. And I'm looking for, I usually have spare. I think I just buried it though. So I always have spare paper pumpkin blocks. I'm trying to see the way the feet are going. I think this is just cute, right? So we can just come and keep on stamping. However close you want or how far apart you want. I just stamped. I am going to make sure I do an odd amount, right? Okay, so I'm going to at least do 5. Gives me a spot to sign right there and all. And I can at least say I did some footprints there. Boop, boop. Somebody will be happy that I did that. And then we're going to come and just trim this just a little bit, just like I did in the front. A little bit over the white, a little bit under the pink there. That one's already under the pink a little bit. Do this one just a little smidgen. Smidgen is whatever I think it is at the moment. Alright, see how that is? It just makes it just nice and cute, right? Alright, so we have this right here. Let's add our bling. And we'll be done with this, and then we're just going to move on to our treat holders. I'm trying to think if there's any way I could do this, like over here or something. I could, right? Let's do that. I keep on wanting to use this one, and we're just going to use it. Just going to use it. Because we can. Because we can. Okay, again, I'm surrounded by the North Pole. Let's do it. I am. I'm going to put one here, one here, and another one here. I do like doing that. Right, we all have specific things we sort of like, and if I want to add 2 more, I can. I'm trying to think, I added mine up toward the top right. And I'm fixing to have to get my tool out to help me if I need to. There we go. Alright, so we got 3 right there, and I'll go ahead and put 2 like I did up earlier here, and I did another one here. Do that right in here. Okay, there we go. So we created our own busy card using all those pretty die cut items, and ta-ta-ta. So there you go. Alright, so that's the one. Alright, now we're going to put these aside. Let's see if we can't use a squirrel or something on one of these. Try to see what else I have left. I mean, this is it, right? This is what I have left. So you can see out of all that stuff, not much left now after I've done a number of cards as well as what we're doing now. Okay. I don't remember which color I did first earlier, so I think we did this one first. I'm going to do it again. So this is what we did earlier, okay? And we're going to do the same thing, except this time around I'm going to use tear and tape on everything. Earlier I used a combination of glue and tear and tape. This time around I'm just going to use tear and tape. Works just fine. I do like to fold everything on the scored lines because it gives me a good view of what I've got going on and what's going to be happening. And let's see, yeah. Okay. Do that here, and do it here. Do it here, and we'll do it here. Now, yes, I did have the opportunity for creativity last week. And this week we're going to work hard not to. Alright, so the key to it is, right here is the part that's going to hold down the front flap of the treat holder. So we just want to make sure it's on the bottom. Last time I don't know, even earlier I did fine. But last week I get talking sometimes and, right, we don't pay attention to what we're doing. And we have the opportunity for creativity. Which that wasn't what I was looking for. Today's definitely not a day I want an opportunity for creativity either, because it's already getting that provided, thanks to the camera. So as I was talking about earlier, the key to this is lining up the corners, right? Let's see if we can get that off. All right, so we want to just make sure we square up our corner here. So here's the box, and we're just going to make sure it wraps around, and we got a nice neat corner right there. Now, that was the only thing about using the tear and tape is I don't have to wait for the glue to dry, right? I think the glue is a little bit stronger, durable. The other thing I talked about earlier is you know, not all DSP is created equal, right? This one feels sort of slender, thin. Some of them are thicker. So on this particular one, if you wanted something thicker, then what I would do is I would adhere this down first to cardstock, then die cut it, right? And that way everything's together and it'll give you more durability if that's what you're wanting, especially if you're going to put something heavy in here. I was trying to think what I would put in here that would be heavy. Off the cuff, I don't know what I would put in here that would be heavy, but it's possible. This nano will do just about anything for those grandkids, right? If somebody wanted me to send them a bunch of rocks, I would put them a bunch of rocks in there with some candy. All right, so there we go. So see how that just squares up real nicely? Now, the thing I'd done earlier is I actually had wrapped the ribbon all the way around. This time I'm going to do like I did on the second one, is I'm just going to do it partially around, okay? So when I did this one here, see I just did it on the sides there. I didn't go all the way around. So I'm going to do the same thing here. And I like the fact that we did this lower. And I really like the tear and tape. Now, okay, you can see just from earlier today, for me going to lunch, coming back and all, the ribbon on its own decided to curl, right? That's what it does. All right, so we're going to flatten this out. We're just flatten it out just like that. And it just does. It's whatever kind of ribbon this is what it does well at. All right, so I'm just going to, this time round, you won't be able to see the other one earlier as well. I'm just going to get something to hold, just sort of hold it down flat for me. I'm just going to use my blocks just like that. And I'm just going to put the tear and tape on here. There it is. That's what I was looking. We'll use this one up. So yeah, so I just come down with the tear and tape. Now the tear and tape, it's just like anything else, right? We're just going to start a little bit at a time and work our way down. Okay, so since it's curling, that's why I just want to sort of put this out there. Actually, earlier when I did this, I actually somehow managed to get it to get a wave in it, and in fact, that's exactly what this is doing right now too. So see how it was wanting to move, and when it goes to move on you, it wants to form like a little wave, and you can see that right there. And so what you're trying to do, or what I tried to do earlier, I don't think I'm managing too well right now, is, oh good grief. You know what, this is tear and tape. I'm just thinking, it's like, you know what? I don't have to worry about this. I can snip it off, right? So I'm not going to have to, like, why mess with it, right? It's like, just cut it. But see how it wants to do, like, wave? And I think that's why it curls, right? Because it's kind of like this, the fabric, whatever's, or I'm not sure if it's just the fabric or the way it's, they did the threading on it or what, but it definitely has a natural desire to curl, a wave, whatever you want to call it, see? All right, I think we're good there. I think it's enough. We can clip it right there. Okay. Pretty darn sure that's plenty enough. Or see how it frays? That's so easy to make it into a little ball for the top of the gingerbread hat. Now see how I've got enough right here? All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. I'll have some extra, and it's okay. Sometimes I need extra, and it's easy to fray it. It's really easy to fray it and make it do what you want to do there on the ends. So I'm just going to start down here. And I'm just going to rub my hand back over it, right, to make sure I've got this nice and... See, it still wants to curl no matter what, all right? But this just helps it to sit there and not want to make it quite as curly, quite as quick. And I'm going to just do this right here. And I'm going to start on the side, just like I was showing you. And I'm going to come to the edge, and I can sit there and make it fray, do whatever I want to. And it's not going to care at all, right? It's going to be feeling quite natural at that. I'll do the same thing here, and we get to end it right about here. So let's go ahead and finish this off a little bit. Yeah, didn't quite make it. Okay, that'll make it. Okay, so see how we had there? All right, which is fine. Because on our cards, we made it look like snow. Okay, and we'll trim it right there. There we go. All right, put this here because we got another box in there. We'll do the same thing. All right, so we have our treat box. And it really helps when you put your candy in there and all. It just makes it a little bit stiffer and everything else. And like mine's going to have to ship to some of my special peeps. Not all, but some. All right, so we have this right here. And we're going to just stamp on here, hoping this Christmas is the most magical. And we just have that stamp right here. And I'm going to take my green ink. Nope, I was going to do red this time. All right, so that's the big decision. This one I did with the blue background, and I did this right here. This one, we'll see how we like it, okay? We don't like it, so this is great, right? So if you're not sure, and this is how I do when I'm designing things and everything too, and I'm not sure, I just come on the back side and stamp it first to see what I think. So if I do it the same way, so this is what it would look like, okay? Which I think I'm okay with that because I've got the red right there. So we're going to leave it. So let's just do it back again. But see, we had the green over here. And I wasn't sure which I was going to like. But that's just how I do it, right? I just do a comparison like that. Because sometimes when, I don't know about you, but sometimes when we stamp things, you know, in our mind, we're always saying, oh, we think that's going to look good, and that's what we're going to want. And then we go to put it down, and we're like, I really don't like that. So, yeah. All right. So I'm going to do this here. And so we have choices. I like it when I have choices because I'm even looking at that mailbox. So earlier, I was talking about my middle son. I have 3 sons. I can do the whole my 3 sons thing because I have 3 sons. And the middle son likes hedgehogs. He's always wanted a hedgehog. And I said, no, thank you. When you have your own place, everything else, and you get to keep care of your place, I said, you can do that. So needless to say, he does have his own place. He doesn't have any hedgehogs, so there. I don't know. I never thought of having a hedgehog as a pet, but I guess the pet stores have them. And he was definitely liked it. So there you go. So I'm just going to do this one just a little bit different than here. I'm actually going to tilt it sideways here. And let's see what we have. I thought this little guy would be cute. It's a little squirrel with an envelope. I thought it was sort of cute. I'm not deciding if it's sitting or if it's laying on top or what. It sort of looks like it's supposed to be like this. That's a possibility. I have this little bitty package, but it has nothing on it. No little cute little animals. I have this one here, and this one's like really big. But we could do that, right? If you wanted a squirrel running across the top, we could do that. But I think I'd rather the squirrel with an envelope. Let's just do the squirrel with an envelope. And I'm just going to do it sort of like right here. Like that. Okay, and I'm just going to put it on with a small dimensional. Because I can, right? And you know, you can do Wink of Stella. I did that earlier. I actually did Wink of Stella. You can also do Wink of Stella. The other one I like is to splatter Wink of Stella. And I thought that would be pretty cute. And we can do that. I just need to grab a sheet of paper or grab a sheet of something. I've got something else I'm working on. Right? I'm just going to put that right there. All right, let's do that splatter technique. We hadn't done that in a few days. Actually, a very few days. So let's get something that's sort of clean on the background that I don't have to worry about. Okay, there we go. Here's one of my tutorials. And then I'm just going to take, let's see which one's the juiciest. You really need one that's got, okay, I was trying to see. You really want one that you can, pretty confident it's got some juice in it, right? Because we want to be able to squeeze this here. So, ooh, there you go. Okay, see how that really came through the fluid? There you go. Went on my hand too. All right. Boop, boop. Okay, so all we're going to do then is take my scissors that I just had. You know, this is just a fun way to sit there and put sparkle all over something without me going and getting the glitter. So that's all I'm going to do, is it just flips. The key to it though is, the trick to it is you just got to make sure you get the fluid right here. If you don't, that's what allows you to do it. And you can see I've got the splatter going all the way around there, so you can tell that it's really nice and juicy. And I'm not going to wipe my hand on my shirt because I don't want to get it on my husband's shirt. All right, the love of my life. So see, you can see the little bit of sparkle is just put everywhere. And that's just Wink of Stella and doing it that way. All right? So we can still put bling on here. I'm going to save the bling until we do the next one. All right? Let's go ahead and do the next one. And again, this is what I did originally. Okay? And this one here, I'm changing out the colors. And in addition to that, I'm going to leave this here so we can put some sparkle in here too. I am putting the little chipmunk with the male. So see how they give you the same things, but they're like facing different directions. So I'm going to have it on the right side this time. And you can decide which you like better. If you like it better on the right or the left. I changed it from white and red tags to white and green. So I'll give you the opportunity to say if you like this or you like that. This or that. I like it. So yeah, let's go ahead and we're folding the score lines just like we did the other one. Again, we're taking busy paper and showing you how we can take that busy paper, tone it down a little bit if you want to tone it down. If you don't want to tone it down, don't tone it down. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We know this is going to be the flap that's going to come up. So this is the side we're going to put the tearing tape on. And I don't go just about to like the lower third of that circle is what I do. So if you're wanting to know where I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. To the lower third. Okay. All right. So we'll get our box squared up just like we talked about a while ago. And then we're just going to peel this off. And then we'll put some ribbon on here too, right? We're not going to neglect the ribbon on this one. But we're just going to make sure we square this up just like this. All right, we're going to make sure the bottom and it's just formed together real nicely to square up. And then we're just going to mash it together. Okay? Make sure it sticks good. Same thing here. We'll take this off. Right? How's your, you need to tell me how your day is going today. Have you had any cameras freeze up today and you do a live and come to find out that it's stuck? And it was, the sound was sort of staticky too. So something definitely weird was going on. Okay. Same thing here. We're just taking, it's going to be ready to be folded down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it then. If I'm just not going to do that, then I just won't do it for the moment. Alright, let's go ahead and do this then. I'm not going to fuss with it, not going to sweat it. Alright, so just like we did a minute ago, set that aside. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and put this down on top of it. Because you can see it wants to curl. And I'm going to go ahead and get my tearing tape going. Like this, and this time I'm just going to go from left to right because I got the block down this other side. I think I feel like I got more control since I'm right-handed. I'll just keep on moving that down. Okay. You can see how it just naturally wants to curl. There we go. So you're somebody like me that's got natural body in your hair, or if you got natural curl in your hair, right? No matter what you do, it still wants to curl. So like mine today, the waves are in the back. I got waves in the back of my hair back here. Front side, I actually put spray on it so we can get my face. So it's just sort of funny how things in life do stuff like that. So we'll get this off here and get this going. So yeah, so the adhesive wasn't like really stuck on there yet. I had to match it a little bit more. There you go. You can tell, you can tell. Now this one I did about halfway, not quite. Ooh, I can start at the edge. Again, if you want that edge to be different, then all you gotta do is just play around with it a little bit, and it's gonna get, you're gonna get it fuzzy at the end, and you won't even see an edge to the end of it. All right, now I'm just gonna keep one right there, and I'll end it right there. Okay, we'll snip it. Okay, yeah. All right. All right, so let's get our stuff stamped on here. So I'm Debated whether to do green or red. All right, let's do green and see what you think. And you'll tell me later what you think. All right, so let's do it in green on the back side and see what we think. I know I can't see the color, so it's making me think that I don't have enough ink on there, but I should have plenty of ink. There you go. All right, so if I do it in green ink, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so we're going to flip-flop this just a little bit so I can put my chipmunk on this side. So this would be like in green. All right, I'm going to do this side in red, and if I have to and we like it, the green better, we'll choose the side of Stampin' on first, even though it'd be the reverse side. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get the Poppy Parade is the color. Poppy Parade. And this is squares, right? So it doesn't matter. This reminds me of a circle. Whether it's a circle or square, it doesn't matter. Just stamp it on and it'll be just fine. Okay, so let's see what we think here. This is our last one, so I'm not going to worry about cleaning the stamp at the moment here. Let's go ahead and see about this here. So again, we're flip-flopping it just a little bit, like this here. And we're going to put it over there. So you'll have to see. Now see, I think I like the red. I think I like the red. Here's the green. And here's the red. To me, putting the red on there just brightens it up a little bit. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add these together. Now, you can surely tell me you prefer the green. And guess what? I will redo it. I will do another one and I'll send it to you. And you can give it to somebody. How about that? I think that's fair enough. Fair enough. Miss those little peeps. They're not little anymore, but peeps, fair enough. That's I'd ask them if it was fair enough, and they go fair enough. So that way I knew if things were okay or not. And fair, right? It's all about fair. Being fair. So yes. Alright, so I just made sure these were toward the top because it was going to be above the ribbon here. Okay. And then we'll get our chipmunk on here and get some splattering on here and we'll be done. We will be done. I'll be ready to do what I originally planned. Well, actually, originally I was supposed to go, I was supposed to go with Margaret and Mom, and we were going to go do some shopping and some stuff we were going to do for surprises for the retreat and holiday bingo. But anyway, she had an overseas call coming in from a family member. And so we put it off till tomorrow, which is fine. That's why this happened today, because I needed it to take extra time. So I'm just going to put this right up here, right? I'll let it cross over just a little bit. Not to cover up my words, but at least, you know, just a little bit of a crossover, right? There you go. And we talked about earlier that would be really cute, most probably, if you put one of those wobbles there. And I have wobbles. All right, I'm going to do like I did a minute ago, and we're just going to, then from there, we're going to put some bling. Let's see if I see it. Not sure. I'm not seeing it on the paper right now. If it is, it's a light. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah. So yeah. So you can see it's splattering. It looks like silver, but it's just wet. It's just wet. When it dries, you've got sparkle. All right, and we're gonna put some bling on here. The other one, which did I do it? I did green on the other one. But this is really pulling. So look at just how the paper was cut differently. All right. So we're see on the back of this one, there's a lot of blue. There's a lot of blue on the front of this one. All right, so let's put some blue bling on here. I didn't notice that when I was putting it together, but I'm noticing it now. All right, so I'm gonna put one there, and I put a couple right here, right? Another one right here also, because I can. Yeah, I'm gonna put this one just a little bit higher. There we go. There. Put some blue in there because the blue's picking up the blue. So there you go. Here was the one from earlier. Here's the one this afternoon. So we just sort of flip-flop things a little bit. Here was from earlier today, the one we just created, and we need to put bling on here. And here's the one from earlier, so let's get some bling. That one had a hedgehog. This one has the squirrel. So let's at least get some of this on here. Right, and I put a couple more smaller ones. We'll put them up here this time. Right, so at least when you decide whether you like this or that, You see that they definitely look a little different, right? Besides just color. All right, and then the other one that we did, was this here. This afternoon. Here's the one we did earlier today. And when the camera froze up and I didn't complete the inside there. So there you go, right? Just to give you something to look at and see the difference. So I hope you enjoy that, and I want to thank you for being patient, and thank you for supporting me not only here on Facebook, but on YouTube and Instagram. With that, have an amazing week. For me, I know the day's going to keep on getting better and better. So there you go, and I'm going to work on my own adventures versus the adventures coming to me. So there you go. So with that, be blessed. If you have time, join us Sunday at 4 o'clock where we do our kit together. We personally will be doing the September paper pumpkin kit, which is all about fall. And then you can do whatever other kit you want to. And I'll show you one that I did yesterday when I was getting a pedicure. I actually did a no stamping kit, which is very fun and very pretty and very Christmassy. All right, because it's all about getting ahead of the game for the Christmas season, for me anyway. With that, be blessed. See you soon. Bye.